Wicked Problem Project, Using Socrative for Student Instant Responses and Review by Ian Jones, CEP 812. The problem. I wanted something that could be used immediately to quiz or poll the class on any given day for any topic or question. This would allow me to tailor the information to make sure everyone is getting a fair chance, plus maybe allow me to speed up or slow down on a topic. Also, since I started teaching, I've always struggled with the day before a test. This is usually a review day. But how boring a paper review is, and jeopardy on the subject is only marginally better. I needed something to see what all the students are thinking about a topic besides the usual ones that raise their hands to pop up their answer their questions. Feedback on student understanding of material can sometimes take a long time for me to give back to them from unit assessment to the next. How can I make this a daily occurrence for both me and them to check their understanding and get back to them more immediately? My solution, the Socrative Student Response System. Socrative.com allows me to create/upload quizzes consisting of multiple choice, true and false, and short answer questions to be used every day in class for review sessions. When opened and available, students will respond via the web on a computer or using a smartphone, tablet, or other device with the Socrative Student application downloaded. These can be used for a quick pre- or post-class quiz or a cool review game called Space Race, where the students work as a team to answer questions and move a spaceship across the screen to a target. First one there wins. Success with this project starts with simply implementing it. After a class or two, students are very comfortable with getting logged into my virtual classroom and answering questions accordingly. Once the quiz has been closed, the spreadsheet is produced and emailed to a teacher's account with all the student responses. Additionally, I'm looking for students to respond to the actual quizzes and software that have been given to them. I have asked them by polling them and individually asking them how they felt this worked and if they found it to be helpful. Final success can be measured by the correct answers produced at quiz time and improvement in the classical assessments, like real in-class quizzes or tests. How does TPAC apply? My TP solution. Technology is selected for students to allow for them to be taught information in a variety of ways, and it's not really connected to the solution, but the retelling, recalling, and constant connections being made there are. Since Socrative allows for both student quizzing and polling, I can use this information to see what students are retaining and what they aren't. Then I can work on reteaching, clarifying, having them help teach, and getting all of the students on the same page. This is a method that continues to keep students honest on what they are studying and paying attention to in and out of class. TC solution. The technology selected for any content can be more accessible to any student. Most students don't learn material on a topic the first time they hear it. It is said that practice makes perfect. This online quizzing and polling can make a game of the material and pushes students to make the correct choices. I also think it's important for them to reflect on what they were thinking when they made the choice to select a certain answer. If they were right, then confirmation for them, and it was something that they will remember. If they made an incorrect choice, then they can see how or why they were incorrect, the right choice, and lock that down for next time. Instant feedback can make instant fixes to problems in knowledge, and it is a fun way of doing it. PC solution. Scientific content can be hard to understand and remember. This method consistently tests the students, allowing for the teacher to help them where they need it most. I believe my students have the best chance of keeping up with this because they were consistently being tested on it and seeing what they know and what they don't. This allows for constant confirmation of correct knowledge and work on the topic and details they aren't quite sure or aren't quite there yet. How did it go? My first section on this project was just getting my students to use the Socrative website for online quizzing and polling. My ultimate goal was to have this as a regular measuring stick of how things are being understood by my students on a more instant basis. This is great because they can download the app from the mobile store or use a computer to log on and answer the questions. When students submit their answers, no matter what they are, these are all recorded into an Excel spreadsheet that I can download at the end of the session. Some surprises that I had were how easy it was to create a quiz. All I had to do was type in the answers and then click Start Quiz. I posted the link to my Moodle page and my students were able to access it from there. Delights that I had in this lab was the speed at which the quiz actually worked once the students started. I had students also able to access in many different ways, using laptops, their tablets, their iPods, their iPhones, and any other smartphone. What did I find? Along the way, I changed my original plan, seeing that I wasn't going to be able to fit it all in with the appropriate length of time that I had for this class. So I started to implement only a small portion of it. I decided to implement just the daily quizzing part. I wanted to use this site for review for post or pre-test time, but it wasn't quite going to work for me. I understand that normal success for new projects being implemented should be data-based, and I would agree. At this point, I'm not quite sure I have enough quantitative data to be collected to show this, but I do believe the qualitative data supports this project's success already. The first way, my students have been exposed to the website and have downloaded the app to their smartphone and tablets. The second way, students relatively quickly log on and begin quizzing. Third, the students have voiced to me physically and via the quiz about 80% that they think that these quizzes will help them with their understanding and they enjoy them. 4. Additionally, I believe success in just getting started with this is important, and I am happy with that. 5. A few other random teachers have come into my class, specifically one that saw my student using her iPhone and was about to take it from her. But she said, "I'm using it for a quiz." This teacher was interested in the process. I think this is something that could eventually be performed as some kind of professional development for the rest of my school. What did I learn? I think the biggest thing to think about when looking at something like this project is to just jump in and do it. I know the students appreciate the effort that I've put into this assignment for myself, and they know that they are guinea pigs for it and have owned it. I know that when things have gone wrong, they have helped me think of and troubleshoot some solutions, even scrapping an entire idea. I plan on continuing this project, knowing I'm not even close to being finished with it. This really has been just a test drive for the base model. As already indicated, I plan on using this with my freshman classroom on a regular basis, and I am thinking of growing it into my junior and senior classes. Also, I really want to try to plan the space race game for a review with students submitting questions for the upload. This might save time and have a lot more variation in the type of questions being asked. As a whole, my students did do better on their final assessments prior to previous assessments when using this software.